I'm one of the strongest men to ever walk the earth.
I love Caesar salad.
Boys.
Sprite. Or is that your Christian shirt? Does it say Spirit?
Sprite. For the people not listening, I'm wearing a large green shirt that says Sprite with a very handsome hunting vest over the top.
I've seen it. I didn't notice the camouflage at first. I just seen the orange around you, so I thought you had some sort of neck thing on. I thought you had one of your bro sports science neck thing on.
It's working. You can't even see it, bro.
No, you can't even. I can't even see you. You're just like
I only went in the woods. Tree. I only went in the woods for one day this hunting season, and so now I'm gonna wear this around the house to feel like I still deserve it.
That's funny. I gotta wear my flage.
Hold in my garage.
Flage in the garage. Oh my god.
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I was. Where was I? Where was I this weekend? Holy shit! I'm doing great. I don't know where I was in Pittsburgh. And I had a lot of fun. Pittsburgh are my people.
I love Pittsburgh. You guys actually, I don't even care about football that much, but randomly I watched the Pittsburgh Steelers play my Chicago Bears this weekend. I like the Bears, and Aaron Rodgers is fun to watch.
It's right. The radio show I go. Pittsburgh's one of those towns where radio still works. They listen to the radio, and it's because they're such huge Steeler fans, and they talk. It's almost like a drama, like a soap opera. That Steelers team, and they listen to this DVE, and the listenership is huge, and they come out after they hear you on the radio, but they always talk about football, and I'm just like confused in the background. But I did get a Sidney Crosby signed jersey.
Sick. Somebody brought it to you, or you went and bought it? Or?
Well, here's what happened. A guy from PPG Paints Arena, they were in the arena, one of the big wigs was retiring, and it turned out I was one of his favorite comedians, so they brought their staff to the show, and he brought me a signed jersey of their captain and Sid the Kid, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then somebody looked it up. It's worth about $1,400 to $1,700, and I'm like, well, it might not be in my closet long.
Yeah. I was in China once, and this guy gave me a jade statue, and I was really appreciative. The guy had a shark tank behind him, a literal shark tank. I wasn't thinking. I was like, oh, that's cool. Get home, and I Googled it. It was $4,200.
I love that. Are you like me? Like some of my friends get a lot of stuff. I get some stuff, but I always make sure that I use it at least once. I wear it at least once before I do something else with it. Because y'all have all sorts of stuff, but I'm blown away. So I do a joke about my sperm having no tail. So that's why we have no kids, because I have to come so hard I have to hit the egg, and I'm a little bit of a dribbler. And so this lady made me a dick. Right, a dick. And this is a Christmas ornament. A dick with just heads in it, like just the sperm in it just have heads. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's really funny. So I'm putting that on my tree. My wife's like, no, you're putting it at the back of the tree. I'm like, I'm putting it on the tree.
In my house, we're German, so we have a little pickle, like a tiny little pickle that Christmas Eve somebody gets to hide on the tree. And whoever finds it gets an extra present or $20 or whatever. And so that could be your little pickle you hide.
No way.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the hidden pickle. Is that a German thing or just your family?
I think it's a German thing. I'm not positive. It could be like just one of our. I'm like 95% sure it's a tradition in Germany. But you never know. When your parents tell you it's a tradition, it could just be they made it up.
That's hysterical. Well, mine's going to be the bag pickle. The bag pickles gonna hide in the tree.
Yeah, the headless pickles.
When is too early to put up lights?
My house, the lights in the tree went up on October. Well, right. It was November 1st, like right around midnight.
Your wife is that? Well, your wife or you?
My girl loves them. She loves the tree.
Your wife's our girl. Your girl, so wife, girl, wife.
She's loves Christmas trees, but she's allergic. So 2 years ago, we decided to switch out and get like a fake tree. And
Uh-huh.
she loves it's really nice. It's white. It looks cool. Like I like it. And she pops it up as soon as possible. And then we've got Christmas music playing all the time too. So we're in the
We
mood.
got we got to get Emmy to. We got to talk about. There's this Christmas tree brand, and we should talk about it and get Emmy to talk and get them on, so we get free Christmas trees or something like that. We should start throwing things out there, so we try to get free F-150s.
I'll tell you
So,
what kind of brand mine is if you want. It's some. Oh, never mind. It's made in China. I can see on the box. Don't worry about it.
that's really funny. We got ours. We don't have a box because we got ours at Lowe's, and it was the last one they had, and so they
It
didn't
was
have a
already
box.
put together for you.
It was already put together, so we actually put it in the back of the truck, like it was a real Christmas tree, but it was a fake one. But you know why we got it, because the lights were already on it.
Nice.
You had? Did you have that?
We have lights on ours. We add like some stuff, but ours has lights. Ours is white too.
Oh, so you have a KKK Christmas tree?
In every Christmas movie, the dorky hip guy always has a fake white tree, and the traditional hero of the story is like, that's not gonna work. Every Christmas
That's
story.
not gonna work. You're the bad guy in every Christmas story.
But
So you
my
guys
girl's
put it up.
allergic. I can't we do the regular tree. And what I'll do too is as we get closer to Christmas, I'll get one of those little ones that's like that big, and you put on the counter for the smell, and I'll put it in there, and she'll be really happy about it. And then a week later, she's like, and so we clear it out.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. And then, do you put lights on the house?
I feel bad, but no. I have a wreath up and skulls up year round. Does that count?
Fair enough. We have Aretha Franklin up at all times. Just a little Aretha Franklin.
If you could get like a strobe light, and out there it's going chain, chain, chain.
So my wife had this company come over, and they put lights in our palm trees, and it looks actually pretty cool. I like it. But that went up November.
The palm tree look, man. It makes me miss California. Like that's Christmas growing up for me wasn't like Home Alone with all the snow and all the like Connecticut thickness and all that, but like palm trees with lights, man, that makes me feel like it's Christmas.
Yeah, I like it too. It makes me feel good. But everybody in our neighborhood just there was all these dark houses, and my wife puts up this like Clark Griswold like light show, and everybody's like November 6th, and everybody's like, what the hell? Who are you guys?
Canadians.
The new people are weird.
Well, it depends on where you're at, because I remember, man, it's not Malibu. Well, there's a couple spots in LA that get really, really into Christmas. They get really in. It's cool. But before we ramble on forever for this intro, the world of strength athletics had a lot going on this week. I was wondering, it's a sensitive topic, but I definitely want to talk about it. We just had world's strongest man and world's strongest woman in Florida. It's OSG, Official Strongman Games. I didn't get to see it. I saw the results, and there was a bunch of women that had been freaking out about something I didn't know. And so looked into it and everything. And apparently, this is what I've gathered. Apparently, the girl who won has recently transitioned. And also apparently she didn't disclose that part, like that's in the wind. I'm not sure if that part's true or not, but there was complaints and different things, and then a bunch of stuff leaked. Apparently that the winner has like an OnlyFans or something, and there's proof of it. So people are freaking out. The girl who won World's Strongest Woman last year got second place, and I saw the award ceremony. She was not happy, very, very not happy. And looking into all the other stuff, like it seems like there's a lot of craziness going on at OSG, and they came out and said that I don't want to get in trouble because I don't want to say. I heard someone
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Don't
Said,
get, yeah. Don't get yourself in trouble. But you can have an opinion. You can have an opinion.
well, I
Yeah.
heard someone else on their page saying that they said they were unaware and that they're taking steps to adjudicate it or whatever that is. But yeah, it's just like it's basically. I got tagged in like 100 different posts of me. So I don't know, a month or two ago, I came out in front of a stadium in a skirt and a blouse. And so like there's pictures of me all over right now.
That's funny. You winning. You Joanna man. Y'all sending your Joanna man.
Yeah. And so like I didn't really know until like I'm going through the gram and I'm like, holy crap, like something's going on, you know? So it's wild in strength athletics right now. And honestly, I kind of feel bad for both the first and second place. I feel like
it's a no-win situation for both people.
Right. And I understand the girl being upset and that second, and I understand the girl who got first wants to compete, you know? I understand that too. Of course, there's got to be like more communication at the beginning, and it's got to be more like, you know, if that's one of the issues, that's got to get tightened up. But it's
do you think do you think at some point it switches to, instead of strongest man in the world, it's strongest human in the world, right? Human. And then it's almost like street racing where everybody goes like
fix up your car however you want.
No, like a triathlon. Like everybody goes, and then you just kind of place as you are, but you see, you could like triathlons and running, or like long distance running is where you see the strongest person wins. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. The strongest person is in the first place. There's never been a woman that's won it. There's never been a transgender that's won it. It's always been a man. Like He's got the one with the most testosterone. So do you think your sport could go like that, where everybody competes and you just see it fall from there down?
I mean, it could. The thing about sports, like growing up in a very liberal school, I was always taught, you know, why we defend women's sports and why there's a space for women. And the whole reason women's sports was invented was so they could have their place. So I think about that as well, you know, like having a daughter, having 5 sisters, and
absolutely
myself, half the time I'm vaginaed up, like it's cold, you know? So
yeah. Your nickname with me is Sandy Vagina.
Yeah, exactly. So Sandy. And so, you know, I see like I'm a 400-pound man. It doesn't matter to me whether they line us all up at the same time or they split us up or all that, right? And so like I try to look at it from other perspectives. Like we said, it's a lose-lose. The girl who got second place, how can you tell her she's not the strongest woman in the world and she didn't earn it? That girl's sacrificed so much to be what she is. And then the girl who won, how can you tell her she has no place to compete? How can somebody not have a place to shine? That girl gets to work her butt off too. Why doesn't she get to go out and shine? So, I mean, maybe that is the solution, you know, line them all up together. But then you also want the girl who got second deserves a trophy in her house that says she's the strongest woman. You know, like that's definitely true. But again, like how do you rectify that without cutting out somebody else's opportunity as well?
I totally see. I think we're on the same path. You know, everybody needs an arena to perform, right? So it's not like we don't think, we're not coming from the place where those people shouldn't perform, right? But how do you make it equal to everybody? Because I'm curious. Something that they've never said is how much when you transition, how much do you lose that you're not a man? So now you're actually in the same area, like bone density, muscle density. How much do you lose?
Well, they say that once you go through a male's puberty, there's no evening it out. I
Is
think,
that what it is?
but that's not. This is coming from a gym bro who's wearing a vest in his car.
What?
You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's a huge
I'm
stripe on it.
wearing a hunting vest indoors right now. So, but that's what they say. They say once you've gone through male puberty, you're different and you've got thicker, all the stuff. Like I don't even want to sound any dumber than I already sound.
I always thought that the drugs took bone density. I always thought it like kind of smallens you up.
I believe it does, but not to the effect where it would like say we're both 200 pounds, male and female. One of us went through hormones and everything naturally as a male, and the other one naturally went up to 200 pounds as a female. I don't believe taking estrogen and the hormone blockers will shrink your tendons and your muscle density to a fair field, because that was one of the things when it was all about swimmers in college a couple years ago, if you remember. And I don't like saying names of kids either, but like swimmers in college had this going on. And there was a transitioning male to female that was.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then that was the
person, but the funny part was that the person that placed fifth place was the one that was all upset about it. Like, hey, you weren't going to win anyways. I don't know why you're complaining, right?
The year I'm thinking about, there was a clear dominant girl who was like a getting a scholarship to some Ivy League school. I can't remember. And like she lost national championship, and that's why it became a big deal. That opened the stage for the conversation. So, but honestly, it seems like most people pick a person that they want to be fair to. They're like, okay, the girl who got cheated, let's be fair to her. Or let's ignore the girl who got cheated and let's only be fair to the girl who wants to compete. And it's like, there's got to be a happy medium where we're allowing people to compete. Everyone's got their space on the stage, but we also allow women to have protected sports as well. Like, maybe if you join, say, swimming, it's easier to talk about. We get all the swimmers in high school. They all race together. And see, I don't know. That wouldn't work either.
The problem with us talking about it is that we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. You and I just talking about this, there's going to be people that are offended. There's going to be people that agree with us. And it doesn't matter. We don't get a chance to win no matter what talking about it. So you can't imagine what it'd be like being the person.
Imagine if your job's resting on it and you're the school or you're the dad or something,
Yeah, you gotta remember at the end of the day, they're human no matter what. And there's gonna be people are gonna be bent no matter what. But how do you make it as fair as possible? That's it's never gonna be completely fair. Like you think about even just the guys that want to go against you. There has to be different. Is there different weight classes in the strongest man?
Not at the top level. It's open. There is weight classes on the amateur level, but if you want to compete in the championships, world championships, it does not matter what you weigh.
Yeah. See, yeah. I don't think none of us are like. We should talk. I wonder if our guest will talk about this today. Robert Glazer is here. He's an entrepreneur. He's a columnist for Inc. and Forbes. He has a new book out.
I dare you to ask him about it. I want to hear, and I'm going to act like I'm listening and didn't bring this up. I want you to sell it to him.
Well, his new book is called The Compass Within. So
exactly what we're talking about.
Which is because you got to be who you got to be. You got to be your person. Like that's
my compass is within right now.
Yeah.
It's cold.
It's not what I meant, Robert. That's not. But I love it. I love that you're a cunt. Anyways, I love that you brought this up and we talked about it today. But I don't have. And I don't know, you don't seem like you have an answer either, but I don't have an answer either. It
feels like open conversation is the answer, and then showing like a little compassion, like the internet is so compassionless. I was looking, the girl who won, everyone saying horrible shit about her. I looked at her video. She looks so sweet. She looks so nice. She's so happy she won. She's like
Yeah,
crying
yeah.
proud. How is that the demon? She
Hmm.
showed up and did her best. Like that's not
It's
bad.
we're in a society right now where showing compassion is showing weakness, and you gotta be true to yourself. Showing compassion is not showing weakness. You can help somebody, and once they screw you over, you can take them downtown to Chinatown. You know what I mean? Like you got. I think you got to start. Are you the kind of person? Do you start untrusting, or do you trust and then you have a chance to be dicked over?
I am a silly child inside an old man's body, and
So
like
you trust first.
I do, and I try my best because I've been burned a lot, plenty of times by people I care
Right.
about. And so like I try to tell myself when I'm around somebody for the first time, like step back internally and look at them, inquisitively, and I just get so lost in the sauce. I like people, I like talking, I like having fun, and I automatically just start bouncing my own energy or my beliefs, or like I meet someone for the first time and I'm like, well, of course they want everyone to have a free chance, and of course and it's almost like I see myself in them, and it's for me that's a really hard thing to shake, no matter how many times I've been proven how stupid it is.
I think I'm much like you. Every so often, I'm just like, just don't trust this guy. I don't know why, but it's something about my neck hair up, and I don't trust this guy. So, but I would rather be like when something gets stolen or something like that. I guess they needed it more than me. I'm not saying I'm not like, but I'm like, yes, they needed it more than me. So you know
Yeah,
what I mean. So I don't know. It's weird. The internet has definitely given a place to send hidden hate, right? So I
for
don't know.
sure. I
Yeah,
didn't walking around. I didn't see, 15 years ago, you didn't feel that. Like it was almost as if, like, we talked about this before, like Southern girls, they'll be like, oh, bless your heart.
right.
And that's like an insult. But if you're walking around and you don't know that, it feels like it's just a nice little thing. We're all happy. But then you get on the internet and you're allowed to curdle that milk a little bit. There's a lot of people out there with some repressed feelings that they dump on everyone
They
else.
are. And well, we're happy that you guys tune in to our podcast where we talk about things. We talk stupid. We just have fun for the most part, and we do talk serious every so often. And if you let us know what you think the answer is to, because everybody needs to be able to compete. The answer is not they can't compete,
Right.
right? That is not the answer. How do you make it just the tag like fair so everybody can compete? And I'm
Right.
not saying, everybody gets a trophy. I'm saying everybody gets to compete. That's what
Right.
I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying too. Same here.
So, no, let's go to our guest. Well, let's go to our guest. Robert Glazer is
And
here.
you're
Let's
going to
get.
ask them about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Okay.
You say hot dog or hamburger?
But when you have a hot dog, do you put it in your hamburger bun? We'll be right back. Robert Glazer is our guest today. His new book is The Compass Within. Robert, how are you?
Good. How are you both?
We're pretty good. We're just arguing.
Yeah.
That's just, it's
We
on brand.
we weren't arguing. We were talking about people stopping people from competing because of different things that have happened to them. I won't say the words that have happened to them, how they've changed. And my feeling and Robert's feeling is it's not to stop them from competing. It's to make it fair for everybody. That's the way it should be. Everybody should be able to compete. Not everybody should get a trophy.
Yeah, you got me on that. Look, I try to tell my kids, like, you need to learn how to be a good winner and a good loser, and they're winners and
Exactly.
losers, and you'll be on both sides of that coin, and not competing or pretending. My line is always that the most enlightened yoga teacher in the world competes for a job at a top resort. Like, it just it is what it is. You want something, other people want it. It elevates the competition, and sometimes we win and we need to be gracious, and sometimes we lose and we need to learn from it and move on.
That's one of the best things about sports for kids too, is they learn how to be an appropriate loser, not to let that be like, oh, well, for the rest of my life I'm this guy, or not to be like everything rested on this one moment. No, I get another shot. I'm going to get to line up. I'll be ready next time for whatever happened last time, and I can be better, and that's life.
I'll agree with you and disagree with you. I'll agree with you in that I think that's maybe how sports was when you and I were a kid. But
Well,
having just went to a fifth graders basketball game last weekend, I was disgusted with the behavior of the kids and the no enforcing it from the coach. It used to be a character thing, and now it's a fifth grader chirping at the ref and pull him. That's probably the coach's son though. That's it's usually always the
No,
I coach's son thing goes back to before time, but there is a unique situation.
I learned that the hard way. First time I was coaching soccer, the kids must have been 7 years old, 6 years old, and there's this one kid knocking down every kid on the field and knocking him over, and I'm like, what the? And I'm about to go to the coach and be like, what are you going to do about this kid? And this a little light goes off in my head, like maybe you should wait and see. And at halftime, he goes over and gives him a hug, and it's dad. So like I learned that lesson early on.
Well, yeah, you got time it. You got to sit back, look it out, and figure it out, and then you say,
The least well-behaved kid on the team is usually the coach's son.
And do you think social soccer too,
or daughter, whatever.
You both have soccer kids. Do you think that chirping comes from social media? Do you think that people think that's the way younger people?
I think it's just our collective narcissism, like now, and it's about me. And I mean, I'm watching this kid like complaining about every call. I mean, they're learning it from the pros, but complaining about every call. There's no recourse, right? So if a coach pulls a kid who complains about every call out of a game, this is like values, who's still a good player, then you stop complaining about calls. But if you just say, look, you can behave however you want as long as you score, like this is like a company, like someone who does their job but is a cultural terrorist, right? If you just make it okay because their quota is okay, then you get that outcome.
Yeah,
agreed.
Across the pros and in college, it's the kids in school. They're allowed to backtalk their teachers, and the teachers can't do anything. So it's cultivated through culture. Where now, like, I think hockey is probably the best one to watch if you want to still see some old school, like, get after them without all the theatrics and everything. But I can't even watch basketball anymore. It's like. And then I'll see videos where kids are like dribbling down the lane and they're doing the like, I'm getting hit fake thing. It's like that was nowhere when I was a kid. There was no flopping. Charles Barkley would slap you if you acted like a girl. Shaq would be tough, So it's a different culture. But it also depends on the kids and where you're at. Like we did soccer and had a lot of that. And then we joined a different league and did flag football, and there was really only none of that. Yeah. One of the 10 teams was like that. All the other teams were just getting after it. So it's maybe not as bad as the internet makes us think it is. I hope, at least.
Yeah, it could be better. So hold on, guys. I'm not going anywhere. Someone just turn off all the lights on me. So
his kid just came in and just
the
turned
master
off
button. So we're back.
Welcome back. Are you in an office right now? Are you at home? Where are you?
Pulled out my earpiece and doing that. So hold on.
Oh, hold on. We'll ask a question.
Right. Now we're back. So now go ahead.
Welcome back, Robert. Robert Glazer's back. He's with us. He took a time out. He went and turned the lights back on. Are you at home? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in my home recording office, but that never happens. But kids are home for Thanksgiving for college, so everything's going haywire.
Well, we don't believe in Thanksgiving here and on this show. We're turkey fans. No, do you think that people in this day and age should say, no, I'm not going to my family's house to argue if they argue with their family, and go to their friend's house that they get along with? Or are you painting yourself into a corner by not dealing with life?
I mean, I think it's either way. I think if you're just trying to avoid a hard discussion or whatever, that's not a great way to live. But if someone's a perpetual energy vampire in your life, I'm type of one of the people who's like, look, family is a priority, but family doesn't get a blank check. So if family is the source of your aggravation, then I don't see why. Again, an energy vampire is, someone who you feel worse with having spent time with. And so if those people are in your family and you keep going out of obligation and you feel worse, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
We all have a grandma.
But there's got to be.
Is it a grandma, or is it
saying,
usually like someone with the name in-law? Like that is.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying though that there's some kind of like you have to give some kind of effort. You can't just, or it's a difficult conversation, I'm not going to do it. But like there is a line, right? So like if last Thanksgiving it was a hard Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to go this.
Yeah.
Like you got to put effort.
Or look, if you go and you say, look, like, can we let's not talk politics today at Thanksgiving? And someone's like, no, I want to talk politics and I want this to be a political debate. I can see why you're like, look, that's not what I'm looking for Thanksgiving. If we don't agree on these things, we can agree to be family and, put that away for another day.
Yeah.
Or we can like actually listen to each other and have a conversation. I don't know.
I have a friend who, when he was a kid, his mom got involved in a cult kind of thing where they believed in a televangelist. And there was something going on where they didn't believe in the flag because there was no prayer in school. So they didn't believe in standing for the national anthem until the prayer was put back in school, right? So he had to not do this, and he went through a lot of problems as a kid. Even though he was confused, he was called out a lot.
No, he's like the first kid to kneel in a football game.
Well, it gets weird. So a couple of Thanksgivings ago, 5 Thanksgivings ago, they were, or whenever that was going on, he was at his mom and dad's house, and somebody asked if they could put the football game on, and his mom said, "No, we don't believe in anybody that doesn't stand for the national anthem." He's like, "What?" I was when I was five to
You
10.
made me kneel.
He's like, I can't win. Yeah, so those people. Would you say that's an energy vampire, that person, or is that just somebody that's very confused?
Parents are like, I don't know why my kid's all screwed up.
They're probably trying. Yeah, well, some people try to make people feel like they're never right, and that's a whole thing in itself. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. Look, all you need to do is sit down and talk with someone else about their family, and then you feel much better about your own. Like every family's got this stuff, and I think it's, yeah. So to me, it's usually better to show up, but if showing up is really a point of exhaustion and energy drain, like at some point you gotta move away from that.
Yeah, my family has the doom clock. Do you know the doom clock, the one that gongs at half hour and top of the hour? So death's coming every half hour. Anyway.
So you just bring your AirPods, it's awesome.
That's awesome. So you're a columnist and you've written a book, the Compass Within. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I have been doing this core values work with people and leaders for years, and I've just seen it have a transformative effect on people's lives. And I had created a curriculum. I had taught it to my own team for years. I had turned it into a course, and I really wanted to bring this work to more people. And so when I thought about a book on core values, I thought no one will read this book because they'll walk by it in the store and it will say on values, and they'll be like, that doesn't sound very interesting, and this stuff's stupid anyway. But really, when I get into my definition and things with people, almost everyone is like, this is different. And I actually see what this is and I see how it matters. And so I had the idea, I'm a big fan of Bob Berg and Pat Lencioni and, Book the Goal. Like, oh, what if I could do a parable? What if I could show it? Right. And so, Robert's reading this book and he sees a character. He's like, I've had all these problems before. And now and so I created a character who's going through some existential crises in life and ends up meeting a mentor who coaches them through their core values with this framework that I've developed. And you watch the whole story and their decisions, and then I explain the framework. And it's not a long book, but it's deep. It's resonating. I'm hearing from people all around the world. They're posting on LinkedIn.
Nice.
I just picked up this book. I read it in one day. It's like I said, it's not long, and then they're kind of motivated to dig a little bit deeper into it.
Well, it's nice that section of literature is actually thriving still, like self-help or self-reliance and stuff. Is either do that or make a teenage vampire porn, like that's basically all the books that are selling. So I would assume that if somebody had something to say that was helpful, it is the time to put it out.
Yeah, and what's also thriving is actually shorter format, and the book is 70 or 80 minutes. I think people these nonfiction books are 300 pages, and people like to like feel accomplished, and I think they're like, oh, I read that book rather than I read like a third of that book. So
Yeah.
yeah.
People like to finish things. It's a finishable book. That's how you should post it. And by the way, I think you should go halfway through. It should be vampire self-help. So it should take place in Seattle.
Vampire porn self-help.
Right. Well, you threw the porn in there. Come on,
Well,
Robert. Come on.
my joke was
All teen vampire books are porn. Have you not read?
I don't know. My book missed the New York Times list despite being the fourth highest seller that week in the advice how-to category. And
How does that work?
it lost to a pagan Christian book and then a cookbook, which can have about half the amount of volume because the New York Times seems to like it.
What does that even
It was something. So basically, I'm writing a Christian cookbook next, since that's what's the New York Times.
So it's how to like breast the unleavened bread.
Blessed be the brie was one of the titles we came up
Nice. So wait, no, explain to me what is a I don't even remember how to say it. It's like the antithesis of each other, Christian and
the cookbook. Well, the pagan, the title was pagan, but I think it was about how people are there are these antichrists kind of rising up in the church. I don't know what it was. All I know is somehow posthumously Charlie Kirk wrote a foreword for the book, and the book sales went up 10x.
Alabama loves the Christian book, huh?
Oh my God. For a bunch of people that don't read, they really know how to buy books.
Lots of pictures.
Well, I just still think it's impressive that you can write a foreword posthumously, but that's a whole different.
That's very impressive.
They were clearly sitting on that. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because there's Charlie Kirk, there's Chuck Kirk, there's a bunch of different Kirks out there, but nobody knows it.
That's pretty funny. That would be a great thing. Just find a guy named Charles Kirk and be like, "Want to write this intro for us?" No one would.
Yeah, nobody. We know those people. They don't research.
By the way, I'm going to start a talent agency of people with the same name and lend them out for reviews. Thank you, guys. You've just basically seeded my next business.
Nice.
What will it be called? Will it be called synonyms, like a talent agency?
Doppelgangers.
Doppelgangers. That's why you've got two different sections. One's where the people that look alike.
Right. With the lookalikes, but these are like the same name, and you don't make a claim. You just sign the name at the end. Jerry Seinfeld. This is really funny, right?
Oh my God,
that's actually really good. The more examples you come up with, it sounds like it worked.
Yeah, you're like it just because you associated with it. It's not my fault. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah. I like that. I like this book. How to scam people out of their money.
Not hard.
It's not hard. So where did you grow up?
I grew up outside of Boston.
Nice. I was just in Boston a couple of weeks ago. One of the best places ever. Do you think, and this is a weird question about Boston, as I was flying away, when it's beautiful there, it's amazing. If they had just a little bit better weather, would it be the most popular place on earth?
Well, there are a lot of places that like the timing matters. Like, if you've ever been to Seattle in the summer, you're like, this is the best place in the world. Like, people are out on the water or whatever. And then in the winter, you're like, this is the worst place in the world. So for us New Englanders, I think there's two types, right? Because obviously summer's beautiful. Everyone's on the Cape and the islands. Fall's spectacular. Spring everywhere is a little muddy. But like, to me, there's people that ski and don't ski. And people who live in a climate like New England and ski, they're like, okay, it's winter. It's dark out. Like, we ski on the weekend. And there are other people sitting around. They're like, it's cold and it's miserable. So I feel like you might as well ski or do something where you enjoy that winter season and then you look forward to it. So I'm always kind of excited for each season here.
I love that.
Limit. You got, for us in Idaho, I found that as long as we've got less than 2 feet, great winter. But when you're shoveling snow and it's more, oh my gosh. Luckily I got kids I can make do it now. But I
As you
live,
get older, that's the stuff you throw your back out for a month and you can't walk, like
man,
shoveling. Yeah.
it's crazy
Heart
how much
attack.
strain it is.
Heart
I live
attack.
in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Heart attacks are the most popular during snowfall,
Although I
right?
bought an
Yeah.
They're very
electric snow
popular.
shovel last year as I get older, man, that thing's amazing. Like, it's for like 3-4 inches. It's like a turbo brush. You just
Yeah.
walk up
No
and
way.
down with it.
I
Yeah.
have a flamethrower somebody sent me in the mail that I'm waiting to use for it. I living in Bend, Oregon when my son was born.
Oh,
It
nice.
was winter time. He was a baby. And I remember it was like 4 feet in one night. And I'm out there with a shitty $20 Walmart shovel that bends every time you dig. And I'm like,
Yeah.
for like 3 hours and didn't have half the driveway done. And I look next door and there's a guy with his four-wheeler that's got the skid on it. And he just boop, 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 done. Oh man, I was like, I'm fucking moving. I can't be here anymore.
Well, I had a similar thing. There was a guy who does our deck up in New Hampshire at ski season, and it was $70 or $80 a time. And I'd watch him. He'd come in, and he'd have this electric shovel thing, and he'd do it in 10 minutes. And I was like, well, I'll just buy the electric shovel. It's 100, 150
I'll buy it
bucks.
once. Yeah, I'll buy it once instead of paying that guy every time.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I love it. Have you noticed as you get, and how old are you? Just out of curiosity.
I'm 49.
49 is.
You're great,
I
man.
think 49 to 50 is really fun times. You're like living on both sides of the
Yeah.
thing. You're not going downhill. You're not going uphill anymore.
You're
just
just
like
getting some freedom before,
yeah.
your parents get old. And they need
Before your
your
parents
help.
get old,
Yeah.
and the warranty comes off your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. You're married with how many kids?
3 kids.
No, and they're in college, you say?
2 in college and one's a junior in high school.
And do you suggest college for everyone?
No. Look, it's been a rough couple years for college, particularly elite colleges. Wow, what are we getting for our money here? No, and I think AI is destroying everything in real time and entry level jobs, and unfortunately, it probably just depends a little bit on where you're coming from too. Like if you're going for a liberal arts degree and your parents can pay for it, and it's a great independence thing, and then great. Like if you're going to borrow $250,000 and you have no idea what you're going to do and you're not going to work very hard, like and you don't know how to do the math to know how many years that's going to pay you back, and entry level jobs are collapsing. So I think a lot of people, not as much college, but even graduate school, a lot of the debt problems are actually people kind of hide out in graduate school. Like they want to do something different. And rather than taking some time off, they go spend $150,000 for a degree that doesn't have an ROI. So I think it's a little bit different with everyone, but just the sheer cost of college means that it's not.
Ian, ROI means return on interest.
No, it's a
Return
reward.
on investment. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even get the word right. Damn.
Yeah.
Will you get your money back?
Nice chirp there, Robert. Your dad must
Dang
have coached the
it!
team.
Look, the private sector only lends to, I think, law school, dental, business, and something other students because they have an economic model that they'll get their money back, right? The government lends to any 18-year-old kid who wants to go to college, but let's pretend that was the private market. They'd sit down and they'd be like, Robert, we're going to look at your grades and you're not going to do drugs. And if they're B's, your interest rate will be X. And if they're C's, it'll be X minus 1. And, they would risk adjust. Is this 18-year-old going to pay me back $250,000? Like in some cases.
Well, they don't have any risk. Those loans coming out,
Correct,
they
the
don't have
government.
to adjust. It's
Right.
like the home loans before 2008. They're
Right.
going to win either way.
Correct. But that's what's interesting is the government will lend to anyone in that context, but the private market is very specific about where it thinks it'll get its money back. So, yeah, look, I think probably more of the value of college for a lot of people, and it doesn't have to be expensive, we have a lot of kids just not adulting and not growing up. So going away from home, living on your own, having that experience, doing your own things, I think that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you think the government should have where we do a year of government, year or 2 years of government service after high school if you're not going to college?
I think we have this problem of comfort in this country. I think like you look anywhere and everyone wants better. I think we would dramatically change the character if we had a program like that. Or you think about in Israel, everyone goes into the army. So those kids serve, for 3 years, and again, politically or whatever it was, but like their character and what they get stressed about and what they, think is very different from mandatory service. So I think I think all the college and we benefit from everyone having some sort of gap year after college.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that worries me about that, and I'm only bringing it up because you brought up Israel, and so I'm gonna say it so I don't get eaten up for it later. But you can't really trust that. I mean, I'd comfortably say most of the things that go on in our politics are for the benefit of us. So, like in a situation like Israel, that's used as like training grounds to just allow us to further what we're doing and kind of get people to go along with it. So I would agree that
it's a form of service, right?
I would agree that it'd be good to get service, but like it's I want more.
I'm bringing it up in the example of I'm not saying army or not, but just serving something that is beyond yourself. Whether it's in the U.S., if kids wanted to go do Teach for America or the Army or one of the like any of them, like it's just giving back and kind of getting outside of your own kind of self-importance. I think that's what's fallen down in society is the collective, right?
Yeah.
I think our biggest problem is that we don't believe we're a throwaway society. We don't believe in keeping our infrastructure at a level that is above average. We let our infrastructure get to average, and then we sell it to somebody else let them take care of it as it falls apart. That's for sure. That's what I see.
Yeah, but have kids go work for the Army Corps of Engineers and go work on things and build things.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to be. Not everybody's got to be a brain. It does getting rid of graffiti can be. Can be.
I just want to make this point. I was trying to make
windows.
I just want to make this point for myself. I would agree. The same as I would agree that we should pay more taxes to help people, but we're saying that like with the example of taxes, we give enough taxes that we should be using them better already. We already have enough influence on people that we should be using that influence in a better way already. Whatever situation the government has right now, whatever power or whatever influence they have, it's not being used in a proper way. That I could agree that people should have mandatory service with it or more taxes to help people. Those are things I would agree with if it was being run well.
Yeah, or the forgiving student loans. Well, forgive your student loans if you go work in public service for 2 years.
Exactly.
Like why I don't get why we're just the problem with that. Things just make no sense to me. And I'll say I'm very independent, but you're going to say we should wipe them out on this one hand because they're this massive, regressive like thing on people's children. And then you're going to keep making them on the other side. That makes no sense to me.
And also the bill gets footed by the middle class. That's what happens.
Right. But there are so many arguments you can make. But the one that doesn't make sense to me and say, this is so horrible and so regressive that we need to basically let these people get out of what they've done. But we're going to make the same loans tomorrow, right? So
Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what you said, Robert, because your microphone broke up. But I'm guessing by your body language, you agreed with us.
I agree. I agree. I
heard exactly what you said. You tinfoil hat motherfucker.
Everybody wants to fix the problem as if like you can trust that the extra taxes or the extra help is going to go where you want. I mean, people in California pay so much money to try and help the homeless situation. It's not getting better. The answer isn't throw more money at it. It's make people responsible. Like you're saying,
Robert's
erase your student debt, but work for the public service. Like that. That's a great trade-off.
Right. To me, that's fair. Or maybe we don't charge you the interest, but what does it teach you if you chose to take this out and go to graduate school? Like I said, most of this is painted as undergrad and it's not, it's grad school. And it didn't work out, and so we say, okay, well then you're totally off the hook there. I just not. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
who talk about the Scandinavian countries, and they say, look, that's socialism working. But to Robert's point, like, they're not socialist. They're high tax with incredible delivery of services. So no one there
Hmm.
cares about paying 50% taxes because it's
Hmm.
clean, their train comes on time, their education system is amazing, and everyone's like, that's a good trade-off. I'm getting a good, investment for my
Well, that's
money.
that. Why wouldn't we? And I've always said this. Why are things that help society better? Why are you putting interest on their loans? So if you finish school and you're a doctor, your loan is interest free, and you can get to that. You can get
Right,
it
but
paid
pay
off
back the
with it.
principal so
Right.
we can make
Yeah.
new
That's
loans, right?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, where's the downfall? It's the interest that people can never get
Yeah.
by. So, anyways,
And
anyways, this is
yeah,
changing the world. Who's your favorite hockey team?
my favorite hockey. Like I'm a
I like
Boston
the
sports
Lakers.
fan. So
Yeah,
I'm it's hard to be a Bruins
I knew
fan
you
these
were.
days, but I'm just a Boston sports fan. So but we're loving
They're
the
much
Pats
better.
right now. Yeah.
Bruins are much better than they were. Marco Sturm is doing a great job with them, and they're
Yes.
up and down like you wouldn't believe. And if Charlie Coyle could, it would just keep his face away from a puck and just get through a whole season would be fantastic. Anyways,
Does that mean you're rooting for North Carolina because of Belichick, or because Belichick and New England don't get along anymore? Are you anti North Carolina?
I am not anti North Carolina, but as someone who has written a lot of leadership books and stuff like that, and looking at this objectively,
He needs an old
I
girlfriend.
don't think I have seen anyone destroy their legacy in a more fantastic way than he is doing right now.
It's been a rough year for old Bill.
He's surrounding himself with basically like loyalists who tell him what he wants to hear.
and
He
that's where
has a,
things fall.
he has someone who's, if any of his players had the girlfriend that he had and that they've called him out on this, and he
For
was always
sure.
like no distractions. That was his thing.
I don't know. If you're good on Bill's team, you can get away with murder. It's been proven.
No, to the whole why Tom Brady left was
Aaron
because
Hernandez was there for 3 years with collection
well,
of bodies.
literally that was he was doing some bad stuff outside of the team, but when he didn't show up to practice or he was late, he got the same treatment as everyone else. In fact, the reason why Brady went to Tampa Bay was because I'm the hardest damn working guy and whatever, it's my 20th year and you're like not cutting me any, you're treating me like a rookie, and like
Really?
I don't need that anymore, and that's
I
why he
didn't know
left.
that. That's cool to hear.
Yeah.
It makes it a little more disappointing to see where we're at, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool to hear.
Is she hot? I can't tell if she's hot.
She's hot.
Is she hot?
She's also Southern, so that means like I don't know. I'm not going to explain that. It's good stuff.
It's must see TV. That anytime I see anything come on with that
And
whole
then there'll be a
language
million clips on the internet of like I saw this one thing. It was pre-game, like 45 minutes before the game. She walked down the field and like checked in on him, right? And then after the game, there's that post of her on the field. They're like, she came down during the game and was yelling at Bill about what he was doing. And coach is like, that was pre-game warm-ups. She came to check in on him.
Well, she cut off an interview he was doing. She has
Done some stuff. Yes,
she's
yes,
been
yes.
very
Yes.
involved in
But
his life and the team life. Yeah.
it's been every young man's dream to have a nurse like that at the end of your life. Let's discuss the book a little bit more
Yeah.
because we spun off into the ditch because you are so fun. So I'm looking
So-
forward to reading it because
yeah.
if it's anything like you are, I'm going to learn something from
It's
it. So
it's real. Look, we all have core values. There are non-negotiable principles that guide our behavior and decisions. They're not words like integrity and family. They're deeper than that. And so this is a framework to understand what they are, identify them, and then be able to basically align better decisions, particularly across what I call the big three, which is your family, your community, and your relationship. So unfortunately, the core value stuff just gets a lot of platitude, but my experience is real core values are intrinsic. They're not aspirational. They're consistent. They show up across all areas of your lives, and they're clarifying. They help you make better decisions. So you can say, look, this is what I believe in, and I believe in it consistently, and I'm going to try to align around people and organizations and things that tie to these things. And most of these things run pretty deeply to our formative years. So they're generally a core value is something that it was really important to you and you're doubling down on, or it was really painful or frustrating or whatever, and you're trying to go 180 degrees the other way. And after 1,000 conversations on this, and when someone says to me, like, reliability and consistency is a core value, I'm like, either you grew up in a military family or you grew up in a house that was completely on fire and no one was ever around. Like, and their answer is always one or the other. Like, it was either like, this reliability and consistency was drilled into them, or their parents were both alcoholics. They raised them. Everything was chaos in their life. And so they grew up being like, I am not going to have that. And I am going to be, something different.
Now, you were saying that these goals, they're either intrinsic or they're aspirational. Now, I was just curious.
They're not aspirational. So you can't say I want to be something. When you get these right, you can look back and they were pretty consistent to you throughout like childhood and your teenage years.
So it's not necessarily you're born with it, but you absorb it before you're even ready to understand what you're absorbing, is what you're saying.
Like 400%. You nailed it. You're like the first person to get that. So you're not born with it.
I got my smart vest on today.
You're not born with it because it is these formative experiences that sort of build your judgment and reasoning and moral compass. And by 20 years old, you know what you like and you know what you hate. And that becomes your sort of orientation in life. Like, people ask me a lot about religion. You mentioned it earlier. And I'm like, sometimes it's religion was super fundamental for them and supportive and whatever, but half the time they're like, I was told this and I saw this behavior. So now like my value is your words must match your actions. And religion had a very negative connotation in terms of their value formation because they felt like it was something people said, not something people did.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you say, here's how I was raised. I was raised that you didn't blame others for your faults.
Yep.
You took responsibility for your actions.
Look at you, Republican.
Oh, hold on. You stood up for the weak, and you fought bullies. That's how that's how I was born. But the big thing was you're rich is not financial.
Yeah.
That was my dad, and my grandfather had money, and we were middle class, but rich is what's around you, the people that are around you, not the physical thing.
Yeah.
There was no religion in it, though. We had no religion. We didn't have religion.
Well, religion is a form of a cultural operating system. What your dad gave you was his moral cultural operating systems, right? And those can come from different things. So sometimes they're related and sometimes they're not, right?
Interesting.
So it sounds like, and it sounds more not you probably went along with all of those. Now, if your dad...
Most of it, I love stuff.
Yeah. Let's say you had a sister, I don't know if you do, but this can go both ways. And your dad always said, rich is what you have. And let's pretend your dad said this, even though you were really poor, one of your siblings, you might have that might have formed something to you. And one of your siblings might have been like, that's freaking bullshit. And like, rich is rich. Right. And what's interesting is like, I've seen we all have a friend who grew up dirt poor who again, you could have, and it goes one of two ways, right? They tend to either spend everything and the most expensive cars and everything because they're like, I never want to be like that again. Or they make $100 million and it's never enough and they save all of it. And they just have this because they just have this memory of never having enough. And so it's never enough, right?
What about someone who goes back and forth? Like, what about, for example, me, who make a bunch of money and you're like, oh, I was poor as a kid, homeless, dirt poor, really dirt. And you get all excited, you end up spending a ton on a silly truck you don't need, for example, maybe, or something like that. and then you regroup and you realize like it kind of sets off a panic inside you doing that. And then you go to like collecting everything. And now the only thing you want is bullion, like is there a way that you're prescribed?
There's probably a thread in that. Yeah, there's probably, look, the quickest way to figure out one of your dominant core values, and we can test this, Robert, is tell me an activity or behavior that you just despise that people show and you can't stand it and it makes you like tense up
Whining.
physically to talk about it.
Whining. I hate complainers.
Right.
Ah,
So you probably have a value of don't complain, right? And you probably have something, strong like that. Now, the money thing may be a different piece. It might be, for some people, it's different things. It manifests in different way. It's not money. It's what do you value? You value like have nice things or do one more or whatever. And you might have found that. But yeah, no whining. And so generally, like if I had asked you, you either grew up in a household where you had a parent who was like no whining and they drilled that into you, or you grew up in an environment where everyone complained about everything and never made anything better, and you decided early on like this is not the way to success and I am going to change it and no whining is my mantra.
Right. It was the first one. Yeah.
First one. Yeah. But I could hear like either story would work. I heard someone very similarly. They were like, no excuses, no why. They just grew up in a household where everyone was a victim. And at some point at 15 years old or something, they were just like, this is not going to be me. And so they went the other way. So that's why I said it's almost always deeply rooted, and it's either was a decision to go against something or you liked it and you repeat it, and that's a value of yours.
Robert, this has been fun talk. Thanks for coming by. The book is called A Compass Within, right?
The Compass Within, a little story about the values that guide us. It's at compasswithin.com, or all of my stuff is at robertglazer.com.
And is it available in bookstores?
It's out. It's been out for 4 weeks, and it's been on New York Times. I'm sorry, USA Today best-selling list and number 9 for 4 weeks now. So,
that's awesome! Congratulations, man. That must be. Is this the first time you've had that in a book, or?
This is the biggest reaction I've had to a book. It's been really cool. We sold almost 20,000 copies in the first month, and seeing notes on LinkedIn and Instagram from people all over the world. So it's exciting.
Awesome. Are you happy? Are you ready to do another one? Are you like, okay?
No. This one, this my goal in the next 5 years is to help 1 million people figure out their core values. So I really want to keep going until I reach that, and I'm still a few short. So
are you on Instagram? Can I follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. Robert Glazer _ or something. You'll find me.
I'll probably find a different Robert. That's probably in some sort of.
You will find the one that looks like me with my picture. You'll find, the doppelganger agency.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone out there.
Thank you, Robert, for dropping by and having a conversation with us. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Robert, that was fun. Robert, it was fun to talk to you. Robert. He didn't. I hope he didn't stick around long afterwards. So I hope he had fun. So
he was different than like a lot of I make fun of help gurus and stuff a lot. It's one of my favorite things because most of them,
because you're a bully,
they find a cadence, and that cadence is supposed to motivate you. And the substance of the words coming out of my mouth is not important, and it's like, all right, whatever. And that works. But this guy, he seemed like he was actually invested from within, from what he was saying. He seemed like genuine.
Also, he had some beliefs that you have. That's what he got you. That's how he got you. Like,
what did he believe that I believe?
I can't believe it. I don't know. You both put on tinfoil. You both put on tinfoil hats halfway through.
I actually like it better when people disagree with me and have a valid point. That's my favorite because then it tweaks me, and I don't know. Maybe I'm a sadist. I like being I like being coached, and the coach is like, "Hey, you're doing good, but this thing's got to move." And then I'm like, I feel like that conversation.
You're doing well, Robert, but I need to ask you a question before we go. Did you and your buddy really eat 14 pounds of pizza?
Oh my gosh, bro. That was the hardest food challenge I've ever done. And for some reason, Brian edited out, I think because he wanted to make it look like he finished better than I did. He puked in the parking lot. Like,
oh, no way.
Buckets. I gagged in the parking lot, and it made him puke everywhere. So I don't know. They made it look like Brian took it a lot better than he did. But holy crap, bro. It was to ruin something like pizza. It felt sacrilegious.
Yeah. I'm guessing you didn't eat pizza for a while.
I got some DiGiorno I just made inside, actually.
DiGiorno. You know pizza I like? I like the cauliflower crust that you get at Costco. The one, the Miltons. Have you had that one?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good.
They really upped the cauliflower crust stuff. Like it's good now, and
really
you don't
good.
feel as bad afterwards. I like that too. And plus,
There was a pizza that we had this weekend in Pittsburgh. So they bake the bread, right? They bake the bread, and then they crispen the bread, and then they put the sauce on, and then they cook it for a little bit longer. Then they take it out, and then they put the cheese on cold, and it just melts while the pizza's hot.
oh, nice.
It was really good. I was like, this is pretty good. Anyways, enough food
Pizza's
talk.
always good until you do a 14-pound pizza, and the crust was as big as my knuckles. And there's this part. It doesn't come across too well in the video, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm in the I'm gonna puke phase where like the room is blurry on the outside.
Yeah.
The saliva's warm. You know that point where everything else goes away.
Right out. Yeah.
And the girl, the waitress, she comes over and she goes, "Do you guys need anything?" And I go, "Go away."
You make
immediately
me
go, I'm sorry.
You make me laugh when you're angry. That's when I get. I think I laugh the most when you're angry. When I see you. All right, Robert. I gotta get going. You gotta get going. We'll check out of here. Tune in next week. Who knows who we have?
Somebody.
Take care. Bye.
Later.